Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching from. So, yeah, the view is a little different today. And it's probably going to change a few more times in the next couple of days because reconstruction. Doing some stuff to the studio, building some... well, actually, I want to do a video about it because I'm going to do a man cave or a composer cave in the room. So I'm gonna build a little box for myself to sit in and not make as much noise towards the outside. So I had to reassemble a new desk because I wanted to know if it's gonna fit with the measurements. So the desk is new. Can highly recommend it. Awesome desk, Wavebone, great company. Not sponsored, not promoted, but I just really like the way the desk looks. Gonna pretty much go into detail on that later, probably. First of all, let me know if audio is coming through. If you can hear me, that would be great. Thanks. And yeah, so lots of changes coming around. This is my first biggest, or not my first, but my biggest DIY building project that I've ever done. I'm very curious how this is going to turn out. Basically, wall framing and insulation and drywall and all that kind of stuff to put myself in a cage. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to keep you posted. But for today, what we are going to do is we're going to take a look at Strezov Sampling's update to Afflatus Brass, which has been released a little bit ago and is still on sale for Black Friday. By the way, I hope everyone had an amazing Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and you got the deals of a lifetime that finally enable you to write good music. No, just kidding. Obviously, it's not the deals, and but there were some cool offers. I grabbed some stuff myself as well, and I hope you had some nice goodies in your bag of composing tools. And so Afflatus Brass is one thing. Hey 7. And the other one was released yesterday with a beautiful live stream already by the makers themselves, by Westwood Instruments. Novella 2 Blackwater, which I had the pleasure of playing around with already for a little bit. And I personally think, spoiler ahead, I think that's their best library yet. They already have done some amazing libraries and some really good stuff. But holy cow, but it's also very specific. It's like Americana, orchestral Americana. So if you don't write that style, there's still some stuff that might be useful, but it excels at that. We will take a look at that. So without further ado, cheers. Let's dive in and jump into the door and check out what we have. So starting off with getting rid of this. There we go. Strezov Afflatus Brass update 1.1. Let's have a quick look. What has been updated? I think I know that I'm live. So it comes now in at a whopping 138 gigabytes, which is pretty impressive for a brass library. New instruments. I already did a stream on Afflatus Chapter 2 Brass when it came out a while ago. I think nearly 1.5, 2 years ago, something like that. But time to revisit and time to see what's been added. So we have new instruments, new category Sparks, 50 unique pads in 2 categories with 4 separate controllable layers. Curated ensemble of 2 horns and 4 cellos, Greek horns, hybrid low brass, experimental It Feeds Among Us, sound design brass wells, and some new MIDI CC controls. So they kind of adapted the Spitfire defaults for microphone positions, CC22 for close mic, 23 for Decca, 24 for sections, and 25 for hall, which is obviously very convenient to have if you work with different mic positions. Improvements to module and transitioning between dynamics for long articulations, that's always welcome, and various small bug fixes, tuning and mapping editing fixes. You can grab, if you don't have the Strezov sampling, for a reduced price. Here's the link in case anyone wants to check it out. It's currently $4.49, usually $6.99. So it's definitely on the more pricey side, but it's also a ton of content that you get for the price. This could easily be your be all and end all brass library, basically. But we will take a closer look in detail. So let's jump in and find out. So Afflatus Brass comes as a Contact Player library. I'm in Cubase 14, Contact 8 here. So what I want to do first is take a look at the new ones, and then let's have a little reminder about what content is also in there. So let's start with this new category, Sparks, which is pads. Come on, there we go. Hope the audio is fine and you can hear perfectly well. It would be interesting whether the Sparks mic positions are, yeah, they are assigned to the same controllers. So that is pretty cool. And the 0 position is at 80, 81 probably, no. That's funny. So the MIDI 127 messages don't let you get back to the exact 0 position. So at 80, it's minus 0.1. And it goes up to plus 12. So just keep that in mind. You cannot get it exactly back to 0 with MIDI CC. That's something you would have to do with Control click. Then it goes back to 0. But still fine. And a good idea to be able to control these various elements of the pads with faders. So obviously you get a lot of more mileage out of these pads when automating these MIDI faders for the volume to kind of swell in and out of different elements of the pads. But for now, let's just take a listen to some of these. If you load a new pad, the mic positions don't reset. Can be welcome, but also I could imagine it might be helpful to have them reset with loading a new preset. Did I say hi, Flosy? Sorry if I didn't. That's some amazing drone there. And by the way, there's two types of categories. So just going through a bunch of these. So when they say 50, I assume it's like 25 per category. So you get the idea. Various layers of sound design patches. Very cinematic. So just going through a few of these here. Let's check the other category. So there you go. These 4 individual layers allow you to mix and match as you go on the fly. Yeah, exactly. Drones are amazing for like creating underbeds. Could easily, I mean, what you could do is let's duplicate this layer. So you could just record. I'm on B here, so bring these all to 80 roughly. And use these like a background to put on top whatever you feel fits the scene. So if we are talking about Afflatus today, obviously might be a good idea to put some solo on top. Let's use a solo French horn. Go with legato. Maybe make it a little more wet than it already is. Play that thing back again. Come on. So you kind of get the idea. Just an underscore bad. That's what these pads are great for. Cue starters. Creepy Hollow. That's some cool stuff. Ooh, I like that. So these are like more spacey. Well, obviously I would need to play if I want to move the faders. So you get the idea. Really, really nice, cool pads. So let's check out the other updates and new options that we have in this library. One would be the curated ensemble of 2 horns and cellos combined. So let's check this out. Here we go. Just gonna use modulation. They even sound great in closed voicings. Open even better. We have a bunch of articulations for these as well. That's flutter. So in the cello, you obviously then have tremolo. And we have marcato. Feels like the cello overpower the brass here a little bit. It's still there. No mod wheel on these, so they are velocity sensitive. And you can lift the keys in between. Next one, we have tenuto. Right. And next one, staccato. And I assume on the last one we have staccatissimo. And that's it for the 2 horns for cellos. Next curated ensemble that's new in the update is the Greek horns. I think I haven't even played with these yet, so let's see what they sound like. That's a horn combined with synth. Horn ensemble combined with analog synth. Might be a good idea to compare that to the regular horn ensemble so we can hear what the difference there is. So let's load the 4 horn patch right next to that. And then I haven't battery saved the library since I downloaded the update, so that's why some of the loading times might be a little bit longer. Should have probably done that prior to the stream, but on the other hand, you will see the real life behavior. So that's the Greek horns, the new ensemble with layered synth. That's the original horn. Why the drastic difference? So that synth layer seems to be an 8VA, so on top of the an octave above the horns. And then apparently it seems we have a few more articulations. Oh, we have repetitions. Oh no, that's on the 4 horns. So 4 horns seem to have more. Yeah, the 4 horns have more articulations than the Greek horns. So they stop at the staccatissimo. Nano, congrats! Great that you managed to buy them. It's really a very in-depth library for sure. Next one, curated ensemble as well, hybrid low brass. So that is definitely something that the trailer composers out there will probably appreciate. So hybrid low brass. Let's see what this thing can do. Oh yeah, listen to that sub bass. You can probably layer your ultimate low-end section for the brass when you combine the Barbarian brass with the new hybrid low brass. So these two next to each other should be pretty badass. And last but not least, looks like we have 3 articulations. That is staccato. Oh, I don't know, but I might have found a bug. It seems some of the round robins are not playing on these hybrid low brass staccatos. Yeah, that's apparently... It should be 5 round robins. Yeah, so the 4th and 5th round robin are empty. Yeah, no round robins on these. So with 3 it works. Mercado the same? I'm not sure. Same thing, 4 and 5 are empty. So I'm not sure if that's a bug or if that's intended to be only 3. I mean, it's fixable. But yeah, so I will definitely let George know. There seems to be a little bit of a hiccup with that patch on the round robins. As you can see, if you experience something like that with Strezov, you can deactivate and reactivate individual round robins. So if there's a issue with one of the round robins, you can easily turn it off. In this case, the issue was no sound. So at least the patch is still workable. But obviously it will be better if that's gonna get fixed sometime soon. So we'll definitely let them know about it. Or maybe they see the video already. So then last but not least, as new content in the experimental section, we do have It Feeds Among Us. So let's take a listen to that. Look, mommy, no mode wheel. So these are like automatically swelling sustains. Nice, really nice pad sound there. Let's quickly address the promise that all these mic positions, yeah, they all work now on the default. Well, default. I think Spitfire was the first to come up with close 22. So doing the microphone positions beginning at 22, and since then I have, whenever I have libraries with microphone positions, I have adapted to that same system. So all my libraries, basically, if I move 22, it will be the close mic if the library has one. So they adapted that for this update too, which is pretty handy, so I don't need to reprogram it myself. Obviously can get pretty beefy there. So just as a little reminder, since it's been a while that I did the stream on Afflatus, if anyone is on the fence or just want a quick rundown of what's part of the instrument of the library. So we have ensemble patches for 2 horns, 2 tubas, 3 trombones, 3 trumpets, 4 horns, and bass trombone, chimbasso, and tuba combined. Let's take a quick listen to the low brass here. That's the legato patch. And what you will see is that this library is extremely consistent in having the same articulation sets for all these instruments. So we have all these same articulations available in all the individual instruments, so it's easy to layer them together. And especially with the key switch instruments, I think they all react to the same key switches besides the very low brass where it needs to move out of the way. 4 horns, just a few, like the 4 horns have the repetitions, which some of the other patches don't have. But other than that, it's very, very consistent. For the horns, we also have mutes and stopped. For the trumpets, we have mutes. And for the trombones, there's also mutes. So, and then in the mutes, we have the same set of articulations. So let's quickly play the legatos from the muted trombones. What they all have in common is the poly legato. So you can play legato with multiple notes at the same time. And that works really, really well. I personally think that Strezov sampling has some of the best poly legato out there for all of their libraries. The same with the choir and with the strings, Afflatus strings. Really, really easy to play and great to have this option to not need multiple instruments to play multi-timbral lines or polyphonic lines. Then, obviously, all these are available as key switch instruments as well. So if we go for the horns key switch, I think we had them before when we compared it with the Greek horns. And by the way, also a really, really good dynamic range from really soft. That's just the mod wheel. That's pretty impressive. And really, really smooth all the way through, which is good. And that's, by the way, they also said that they did some improvements to the module and transitioning between the dynamics. So that was a little test for that. And it does sound really, really good. So then we did already look at the new curated ensembles. The Barbarian Brass might easily become a staple in any trailer composer's arsenal. That little brass swell on the transition there, That's just sounds amazing. Really, really nice. I like that Barbarian brass a lot. Hunter brass is, I think, if I remember correctly, a combination with timpani. Then hybrid low brass, iceberg brass. So basically, these curated ensembles are some combinations with other instruments, like we had the horns with the cellos. Imperial brass, one of my favorite, like quick sketching ensemble patches. It's not really an ensemble patch, but it just sounds gorgeous. Hey Audio Link, greetings to China. So yeah, then there's a bunch of other options. Quickly, the chosen one horns, swells. I mean, these are still pretty tough to do with just mod wheel and expression automation. So having these as individual articulations actually recorded definitely a nice add-on. We do have for all the instruments we do have I don't know for all, but for most we have performance instruments. These are really, really good if you really want to have that like playable instrument without key switching. So let's check the two horns here. What this gives you is a short staccato sound on the start of the note if you hit a little harder. Then you have the sustains afterwards, kind of like a little bit like a marcato patch, but if you play soft, you still have the legato. So you get a little bit more of an attack at the start of the note. Change from legato to sustain. Let's check it quickly with the tubas for the sake of doing something else. Might be a good idea to just quickly compare that to just the staccato patch, which I'm going to do. So 2 tubers, adjust the staccato. I would love an option to have either staccato or staccatissimo overlay, but that might be asking for a little much. So mode wheel all the way up. Versus. So you could technically build the performance patch yourself with layering just the sustains and the staccato, which gives you pretty much the same result, but not really, because then you're missing out on the legato. So it's just they took the workload from you and provide you with these performance patches. It just gives you a little bit more aggressiveness on the start of the node. So with these performance instruments, let's check the trumpets, 3 trumpets, performance. And we all know what's going to come next. But yeah, for these very short repetitions, I would obviously use the staccatissimo instead of the staccato. So it's a nice add-on, and it's there if you need it. Then we have the experimental sounds, which we already touched upon with It Lives Among Us. It Feeds Among Us, sorry. Then we have military brass, mega brass. I'm going to check out the mega brass last. Dark ambient pad is loading. And last but not least, let's check the mega brass. I think I did it last time on the stream as well, but just to remind us what mega brass sounds like in Afflatus brass. I didn't really go into the mic positions. We did that on the last stream already. So just wanted to give you an update on the update. New 1.1 content, new mod wheel behavior, new microphone CC assignment right from the get-go, which is always nice to have. And currently on sale for $4.49 instead of $6.99. Then we get into very loud territory. We need to bring that down. This one is beefy. That's a long release tail there. So that shall conclude our look at the Afflatus brass update, available through Strezov sampling. Check out a few more of the demos. For me personally, verdict of that, one of the most comprehensive brass products currently available on the market. If you really want to go deep into brass programming with individual sections or solo instruments, this allows you to write really, really great sounding brass accompaniment and solos and all that kind of stuff. Comparable, I would say my favorites are Junkie XL brass or Tom Hogenborg brass from Orchestral Tools. Very similar to this in terms of, not in terms of articulations. I think this is even more extensive. So Tom Hogenborg brass from Orchestral Tools doesn't cover as much ground as these guys do with their instruments here. Probably all the articulations you can think of when it comes to regular brass writing. Not many effects and things like that. No clusters, but you can build these yourself with the shorts and with the included articulations. Definitely highly recommended. Of course, disclaimer on the side that I have received this library for free from Strezov Sampling for the purpose of showcasing it, and obviously also for me to work with it if I like it. It is definitely part of my template. I work with this basically every time when I need to write some brass. I like to layer it with other stuff as well, but overall it can totally stand on its own as a single brass library. Big recommendation from my end for this library, especially in conjunction with Afflatus strings. And just so you know, there is also an Afflatus bundle right now, so you can get the strings and the brass instead of $14.98 for $7.19. So that's 50% off both, which is pretty rad. That's a really good price for the amount of content for both libraries. You probably want to grab an SSD or an NVMe drive for that as well, because it's like, I don't know, 260 gigs, something like that, both together. So it's huge, but also sounds huge and sounds really good. All right, so much for Strezov Sampling. Congratulations on the very, very cool update. I don't even know how long the sale's gonna last, but if you are on the fence of grabbing it, I would probably not wait too long and get it. All right, so moving on, the next one in line, released yesterday, Westwood Novella 2, Blackwater. This is a release that I personally am extremely excited about because it immensely will help me in a lot of the scoring jobs that I do. For TV scoring, I write a lot for Discovery and survival shows and stuff like that, and this library will come in really handy. Not necessarily because of the Western vibe that it has, but yeah, we will take a closer look. So, Novella 2 Blackwater by Westwood Instruments. I did a stream on Novella 1, also a bunch of other Westwood instruments. Let me post you the link in case you want to check out more yourself. So what is this? Love letter to Americana and the modern Western. Novella Blackwater is a complete toolkit of virtual instruments for scoring and songwriting. This is a mountainous range of sounds taking inspiration from the homestead of Americana and contemporary Western cinema, with a modern approach and very versatile palette of sounds to suit multiple styles. An outstanding string ensemble lead the band surrounded by a remarkable selection of spirited solo instruments. Backing everything up is a rusty oil barrel and a medley of unconventional percussion. A resilient force of ideas for film scores, an expansive plane of sounds for songwriting. We invite you to explore new horizons and prepare yourself to the wild. So, currently it's on introductory sale for €244. Euros on my end here. I pretty much think dollars is the same. It's just location based, I guess. That's why I'm seeing euros. And $349 regular price, and it is cheaper when you already have Novella 1. The other scoring toolkit that we did a stream with, it's been recorded in the UK. And without further ado, let's jump in because there is a ton to discover. So it comes as a contact player library. I think roughly 30 gigs of content. I have to check how big is it. Yeah, 33. So pretty decently sized. We have 15 different instruments: Fairview ensemble strings, legato strings, high strings, low strings, Deadwood gut violin, Morgan harmonium, electric guitar outlaw, electric guitar rails, steel acoustic flat top, nylon acoustic nomad, mandola juniper, trumpet Harold, harmonica Bronson, upright piano Hickory, and drums and percussion Oilfields. Aptly named because that's derived from an oil drum, oil barrel. So let's start with the first. Fairview ensemble. One thing, and again, have been sent this for free, and I can use it in my work, in my production workflow, but everything I say and think about these libraries is my own thoughts, and they have no influence on what I'm saying about it. So I try to give an unbiased as possible opinion, but that's very hard when something comes up that I really enjoy and really look forward to. Anyway, what I really like is they have a pretty clever way of automatically introducing like hairpin transitions. So you don't have to write the mod wheel. You can say, okay, fast, medium, slow, and then the dynamics run automatically. So basically you just hold down your notes. Which obviously frees you from the necessity to write the mod wheel while playing chords, which you sometimes can hardly do with just two hands, or you have a breath controller or something to control the modulation. So, and this is also, of course, then tempo synced. So when we play that with a click, are on, what are we, 120, obviously standard. So let's go with 100. So that works rather lovely. And I assume that fast is 2 bars, medium is 4 bars, and slow is probably 8 bars on 3, 4. Yeah. So 4 bars up and 4 bars down. And if you, I'm just wondering, how can I not have this automated, but actually go back to, I'm pretty sure that there's a setting to set this to manual instead of automatic mod wheel. I would have to consider the manual. I don't know right now how to set it to manual. If anybody knows in the chat, please let me know. But yeah, obviously there is also a way to control this with your mod wheel manually, but I don't know how to turn that around right now. So that was the Frontiers patch, sustains. Then we have Fires. lint. Very dirty on the plate close to the bridge, like a Soul Pond. And we have the Dust Devils. Short hairpins. And shorts. These are the ensemble strings. Then we have legato strings. Let's check out these. Some decent play around for the legato police out there to take a closer listen. This is the violence. By the way, all these sounds we're hearing are straight out of the box. There's no processing, no limiting, whatever going on. So it's really just what you see and what you hear is what you get. We have a legato speed dial. Change the duration of transition between notes. At minimum setting, you will hear more of the transitions, ideal for slower playing, but with the increased delay between notes. At maximum value, you will hear less transition, but the delay is minimal, so better for faster playing. And I already noticed when playing this that there is a significant amount of delay between these legato transitions while live playing. I don't know, Westwood included this information in their manual. Probably would have to look for it, delay compensation, but this feels like a 100 to 150 millisecond delay, so let's give it a quick try. Or does it give you a number when you actually move the dial? No, it doesn't. So yeah, on default setting, it feels like 120, I would say. Let's see. So if I now hard quantize that to the grid with the transitions, that's still way off. So probably 200, something like that. Yeah, roughly in the 200 range seems like the default setting. How much is it all the way down? So that is the slowest possible legato transition. That sounds closer to 300. Really have to check the manual if there's values given by the developer. Yeah, that is roughly 300 milliseconds of a delay. And with the first note, obviously you would have to compensate for that. It's coming in a little early, so probably somewhere around there. What did I do? right? And with the speed knob all the way up, that gives us the shortest possible transition. Let's see how that sounds on 0 with the track delay. So it's still a little bit behind. I would say maybe 50 or 60. Let's try minus 60, which is my default setting for Cinematic Studio as well. 2. Nearly there, maybe 80. So basically that dial sets the delay time anywhere from minus 300 milliseconds all the way down to roughly around 80 milliseconds track delay for the legato transition time. Keep that in mind. It's not the start of the note, it's the length of the transition between one note and the next. So the legato transition time, which is different than the overall track delay that you need for the start of the note. So yeah, but roughly that appears to be the case. Obviously, it would be much easier if, like other developers, we would have some numerical values and know, okay, when we bring the speed knob up here, then the legato is 255 or whatever. But it's not there, so hopefully that will help you find these numbers a little faster. If you want to keep your performance on the grid, that's the thing, obviously. Next one, we have Viola's legato. Speed that up a little. No vibrato control at all, so that is baked in. Let's turn the reverb off quickly and really just focus on the individual microphone positions that we have in this library. That is the mix mic. It's still rather dry. It's a nice room, like embracing the sound of the sample. Again, violas. Let's check and we have low strings legato, by the way, as well, which is in octaves. So let's check out the close mic. As we can see from the faders, it seems to be a mono mic as well. No, strings sit pretty much on the left, the violas on the close mic. That sounds like a mono mic. And the faders also look mono, and it sounds mono. And the low strings. And then we have the longs, which are non-legato. So that's the close. Then we have the room. Let's do both. So just the room. Just the close. Both together. Then last but not least, we do have the gallery. Oh, I didn't see that. There is a little bit of an EQ setting on all the sounds. So you have a flat EQ, a little bit of air, or a little bit of honkiness grid there. So 3 different EQ curves. The air is the default, which gives you a little bit of a brighter sound. Depending on use case, I would probably prefer the flat curve. So good to know that this is there. Sometimes that saves the hassle of re-EQing after the fact with third-party plugins. If you just hit the button here, if it's a little too bright. Way faster like that instead of dialing in an extra reverb. That's nice to have. So these are the 3 different mic positions. So if we go all the way gallery and less of the room and the closed, then we get a little bit more of a roomier tone, but the tail itself is really, really, really short. So it's a very dry overall. So the included reverb here shall help to put it into a proper space. Well, it has been recorded in a proper space, but for mixing purposes and getting it sit together with other instruments, you can either use the internal reverb, studio, or we have a hall, or fireside, whatever that is. Guest living room. Then we have vintage. That's a very subtle, nice sounding tail there. By the way, if we go back to the mix, fortunately the other 3 mic positions don't auto unload when you click on mix. Bringing these back in. So the mix. Versus the custom mix. I would say for the most part you should be fine with just using the mix mic, but if you feel you want to have a little bit more control over the positioning or the depth of the gallery versus the room versus the close mics, then you have that option. I think that the mix mic would suffice for most of the use cases, my guess. So that is the legato strings. Then we have high strings. These tend to be a little bit more textural. Dust Devils. Circling around, getting closer to the bridge to get these overtones in the sustain. Really like the tone of these. Drifting Tremolo 85 ppm. 110. Not sure if these are tempo synced, so if I go to 120. Yeah, these are tempo synced, so it makes a lot of sense. They have different tempi assigned to them, so if you go to 84, that 110 might sound weird. So I would probably guess plus minus 20 from the default recording time. So if we go to 125, that sounds really cool. And that is tempo synced. So then we have 150, which will obviously sound even weirder at slower tempos. So 1.8. Still sounds fine, but you can hear a little bit of the stretching algorithm there. So probably between 130 and 170. That's cool for this patch. Nice to have that. Then we have regular longs. Short hairpins. Long. And synced. Don't know synced to what, but they say synced on the tin. Shorts and similar to Colenio, back bow, hitting with the back of the bow against the string to get this percussive pluck sound. Very, very cool. And we have low strings. And also, look at this. Really, really consistent in the articulation. So same articulations for the low strings, so I'm not going to go through all of them. Right. And then let's move on to the other instruments. We have a gut violin. Oh, okay. That I was wondering. I saw that slide in the video walkthrough that Adrian did. So that green key switch is for a slide up articulation. And obviously, if you want to do polyphonic, you have to switch to longs. And we have the drones. And drones sur pont. And I just realized there's, on this one, we have 2 pages for the mic positions. I'm not sure what copper is. So let's turn this off and listen to copper. That sounds like a job for a proper delay. Let's go with grid setting. So you can get away with a little bit of mod wheel as pitch wheel as well. Yeah, that works. So that's the Deadwood gut violin. And then we have the Morgan harmonium. I have no idea about harmonium. Can hear the mechanics pretty significantly. You can turn this down. Right. We have different articulations here as well. Nice textural sound. Then we have reverse. We have some sound design patches in here as well. Exhale and exile. Not really sure what the difference there is. So that's the harmonium. Next one, Outlaw electric guitar. That's one of my personal favorites. Really like the tone of this one. So that's just the long. I do have a little bit of a critique point. They did do a long low pitch version, like down tuned. I don't know if they just tuned the samples or actually down tuned the guitar. It does sound like they actually down tuned the guitar or did some nice processing. But what I do find a little bit odd, well, not odd, I mean, it's a regular E standard tuning guitar, but for Americana and a lot of Americana works, what you will find is a lot of either open D tunings or at least drop D tunings. So I'm really surprised that they did not put the longs at least down to D, because obviously you, not obviously, but you all oftentimes have these. I'm playing in E now, but you have that in D a lot of the times. So basically like this. That sounds just a lot better on the original Open D tuning than on E. You can technically do that on the low pitch version, but it sounds much different. So I would love to have that low D, maybe even the C, on the regular longs patch. I'm a little sad that they didn't include that, because that really is what, for me, the sound of Americana is like open D or even down to C. Maybe they can do an update, even if it's optional, like a little switch, like give me these 2 extra notes down, because there apparently is no way I can do that myself in the interface. I mean, they do have this trans pitch. I don't. Okay, trans pitch just gives me different samples pitched down to the sample again, which that way you can create like ensembles, but overall that's not the same. So I'm really looking for a way to extend the range down to the D and probably to the C to really make it Americana compatible. I'm really surprised that for an Americana library that they stopped at the low E there. Because a lot of these cues are like open D tuning. And then it's a little tougher to get around that. You can kind of Frankenstein it together with the low from the longs here, but it would have been more convenient. Anyway, that's just a minor little criticism point there. We have Paul mutes. Then the same in low again. So hear that, if I play the low D on this down pitch shift version, we don't get the same grid as we would get here. So again, I'm losing myself there. Then we have chords. Minor, major, open, and sus2. That sounds amazing. Very, very cool. Tremolo. And I love that they have different tremolos. So we have coin tremolo. Tremolo thirds. Fourth and fifth. We have railhead knuckle. I love this patch. We put a little bit of overdrive on that. A little bit of delay. And for the reverb, let's use the horizon. I love this. As a drone underscore type thing underneath the rest. Love it. Very cool. So that's the Outlaw, and then we have the Rails, a kind of regular electric guitar, where I have the same complaint about the missing D and even C. Yeah, there's also from Fluffy Audio, Western Library. Much different vibe though. So here we. There we go. And look at that. We have metal slide technique 1 to 60 normal attack, 61 to 100 short slide attack, and then top velocity range long slide attack. Very cool. Nice articulation there. We have this in reverse. Hang fire and then hang fire reverse. So then going on, we have the flat top steel acoustic. This is the, I mean, we already had some performance, etc., but this is the territory where we go into some loops, which are just extremely hard to do with multi-sampled. So if you don't have played performance of these type of sounds, it's just very, very hard to do in multi-sampled, sounding like this. And there we have minors, majors, and open. We have 140. Now we have Creekside. Really cool. Longs. But yeah, if you really think about it, it sounds okay-ish, but compared to this, sorry. I'm really glad that we have some rhythms there to put underneath the track. And we have the pitch longs again, mutes. That's always great to have some like repeating on the same note. Then we have that same in reverse. We have the Nomad acoustic. And by the way, here they have the drop D tuning. You get the idea. The blue range is single notes. And then we have the different rhythms in the blue and green range, which is minor and major. Enable sustain start end. Oh, okay. So we have an ending chord there. Yeah. So question there. Can you test the syncing and media at different BPM? Yeah, sure. So that is defaults to 120. So let's go with 110. Delete this guy here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quantize that to the grid because I was a little bit off there. Make sure that we have this on 0. So now we can hopefully play it back and see how it behaves in different temp P. That sounds fine. Maybe try 2 different chords. Right, so let's go with 130. So 10 faster than recommended from the groove. That works fine. So let's try a different groove. Let's stay on 130. That is 100 BPM suggested groove. That works. It's just a different timing. I mean, there's a little bit wonkiness in between, I would say. So yes, it's not hard quantized to the grid. I guess that. Well, that all works. So that sounds fine to me. Right. Let's move on with a few more of these instruments. We have the mandola. There we have pick. Nice. So some different rhythms there as well. 115. I can really see this working greatly underneath some other rhythms. So then we have a trumpet. So if you really want to go for the Morricone vibe, very nice fluctuations in the performance there. long swells. It is sweet. Nice. That's the trumpet. We have harmonica. Closest thing I have to that is the embertone harmonica, which is really, really good. But this has very much. I mean, the other one is great too, and but this has a lot of character. Nice for sound design. You can easily create some Brahms there with that bend. Very cool. And then second to last, we have a upright piano in this this toolkit. That is the close mic. Mix as well. I like the sound of that one. In terms of effects, kind of very, very specific sound, but if it works, I can totally see this. So reversed tapping. Very specific sound there. Stack tapping with mod wheel. Right, and last but not least, we have the oil fields, drums, and percussion. Let's take a listen to these. So we do have a mouth harp there. Obviously, for these type of sounds, you need tons of reverb. I'll go with Horizon here. So a very eclectic but nice selection of various Western type drum sounds. Flossy, unfortunately, not today. That's not part of today's presentation. So really it was about showcasing the sounds as pure as it gets. So straight out of the box, no processing. I highly recommend to listen to some of the demos on the website from Westwood Instruments. It's really there are some really cool tracks that give you a good idea of what this instrument can sound like. And yeah, read a little bit more about the website. I did post the link. This is going to be very helpful for some future jobs that I have to do in terms of scoring. Not necessarily just Western style, but just elements of this can really work nicely. Some of these strings are articulations that I have been searching for quite a while because they were not available unless you record them yourself. So very glad to have that in the toolkit, and I can see a lot of use for that going forward. So that shall conclude our little view into sample libraries today. That was Strezov sampling the Afflatus RAS 2 update and Westwood Instruments Novella 2, both on sale right now. Links are in the description below. So I will see you next week on a very special, exciting stream. Every single stream, of course, is special and exciting, but really looking forward to this one next week, where we're gonna do a deep dive into Keep Forest's Apex, their new guitar library. I'm really excited about this one. I did get a review copy, so gonna dive deep into that next week. Keep Forest Apex coming up next week, back on Thursday then probably, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I wish you all a wonderful rest of the week, weekend, afternoon, evening, and yeah, enjoy your day. Bye bye.